every one of us, when something like what happened with Kobe Bryant happens, if it's a celebrity, I kind of was thinking about this over the last 2 days, and the Lord has really been pressing on me the last few months about what my motivations are for doing things, and I realized that um, a major motivation for me is fear and manipulation. Now, that sounds bad, and it should. I think that what happened to Kobe Bryant is a tragedy. And when I first heard about the helicopter thing, my initial thought was, oh, he was a frivolous celebrity, bought a helicopter instead of driving. I mean, what's wrong with driving? He's too good to drive. He's too good to deal with traffic. Then I saw an interview he gave where he talked about how he missed one of his kids' functions. And I thought, and that was so important to him that he didn't want to miss anything else because he was already due to his job. He's working out an hour a day. He's doing all this stuff. He's doing interviews. He's traveling to play basketball. And he wanted to make sure that he could get all his job stuff done and then be able to pick his kids up from school. Now, he talked about the carpool lines. I seriously doubt like he had the chopper like dropping them off at the school, like he was physically picking them up. So it wasn't the issue that he was too good to drive, you know. Um, and a lot of people would say, well, it's his fault for being dead. No, and that's not what I meant earlier. I was just thinking, like, well, I mean, you mess the bull, you get the horns, you're flying around, and obviously, if your car breaks down, you're not falling. You know what I'm saying? And statistically, I don't want to get too far off into the weeds here, but statistically, you're a heck of a lot less safe in your car than you are in a helicopter or plane. Now, that being said, the one time that you do have an accident, it's a lot more time that it's fatal, you know, in a plane or what have you. Look what happened with Iran, and they shot down the plane. Like I said, I don't want to get off too in the weeds, but just to say that Kobe Bryant bought a helicopter so that he would have more time with his family. And I think if I had the $14 million and I was a celebrity, why not? And even if I didn't, I mean, his motivations were pure. He doesn't answer to me, anyways. But I'm doing this not to do a tit for tat and sift through whether he should have had a chopper or not. Just to be honest and say, sometimes we can look down our nose at things and have a knee jerk reaction. And I was never trying to say, well, he deserved to die or this and that, just to say that, you know, that's something we don't think about. A lot of people don't pick a car based on its safety standards. You might do that when you have a family, but before then, it's like what you can afford, right? And what does his death mean to me? I didn't know the guy. Everybody on the radio and on the news seems like they knew him well. Everybody seems to forget that the man was accused of rape. Now, no matter what you might think of that, I mean, anybody can say whatever they want, especially when you're a celebrity, and say that you did something to them in order to get money. Now, I have no idea if that was the case with the woman or if it wasn't the case. But what I can say is, they painted her to be some sort of whore, for lack of a better term, as if that's any excuse to be raped. And if that happened these days, instead of 15 years ago or however long ago it was, I think we'd be having a different talk about Kobe Bryant. That's not to discredit him and say, that he was a piece of garbage or anything like that, but just to say that, prison probably would have been a lot more on the table. And if not prison directly, in the court of public opinion, he would have been destroyed. So his death means to me, yesterday I took my son out. We threw the baseball around. I bought him a football and a baseball because we somehow lost two baseballs of his. And I took him out to the baseball diamond, and I said to myself, as enjoyable as it was, even though it was a little cool outside, it made me hypersensitive to the fact that, one, I hadn't done that with him before. It was his first time out on the baseball diamond. And two, how special it was to teach him how to throw a ball and to foster some confidence in him. I think that was Bryant's gift to the world, is that attention to craft. The guy spoke three languages or more. Um, he was a lot bigger than the game of basketball. He was a mentor, a father figure to many people. And he was an icon. That's a word thrown around a lot, but that's what he was. And for me, it was Jordan, at least in regards to basketball, and there'll never be another one of him, whether he lives, another 40 years or not. Before then, it was Kareem or Magic or Larry. Where am I going with this? It's appointed for every man to die, and every one of us is going to die at some point. But he who dies with the most toys still dies. And so let the lesson of Kobe Bryant's life be this. He lived a life where he fought every day to achieve and to do more with the 41 years that he had. I don't know how quick that crash was. I don't know if there's the hill, boom, they were dead, or if they were falling out of the sky. I don't know if a freaking helicopter has a black box. I guess we'll find all of that out in the coming days. But what I do know is that I want to live my life in such a way that if and when my time comes, because it's going to come, that I can say, I left a legacy of love, of appreciation, and joy. And I hope that that will be the lesson that I teach with my life. I think, for all intents and purposes, he seemed like he was a good man. But for me, in my house, I want to serve the Lord, and I want to honor him, and I want to do what's right, and I want to do more than just lip service. So with that in mind, I just pray that instead of just being sad about his death, I would like to think that he would be much happier knowing that his life drove people to achieve more with the time they have left. And I think Jesus has the same message, to be quite honest. God bless you guys. I love you.